All right. Oh my God. I've injured my back. Not that you care. Here in the Sports Barn, Eric Arnold Sports Barn. That's me. Thursday, what is today? The 21st? I think it's the 21st. Well, we had a good day yesterday. Old business. Yesterday's slate, almost plus 4 units. And we had a couple others go against us late. Cleaned up on the early games. You learned something if you paid attention. You like home favorites and getaway games. I think that's one that you can hang your hat on. You know, that works. It works. It works. It works. You're looking for home favorites in a getaway game. What's a getaway game? That's where you got a night game, and then the day after, you got a day game. And you're leaving right after the game's over to get away to your next location, which might be, you could, usually anymore there's just a day off after getaway day. Every now and then they'll have getaway days on Thursday, and we missed 2 of them today because, well, we just, you know, it's 4 in the afternoon and I just didn't make the video on time. And we missed a good one too because we had Cleveland all queued up to sweep Detroit, and I'm sure they did, and we just missed that one because we just didn't get our shit together soon enough. So, oh well, you can't bet them all, and you certainly can't win them all. I guess you could bet them all, but even that'd be hard, you know. So many games. You'll never run out of baseball games, I guess. Well, next year we will. There'll be a strike and we won't get to play. Well, wouldn't that be the shit? That it'll take us probably another 2 weeks to dial it in where we can start making money. And we're going to make money then the rest of the year and everything will be great. And then next year we'll be ready to dial it in and make some more money and there'll be a strike. Oh, that'll just be the way, wouldn't it? What else is going on? I don't know. Nothing. This is going to be a short video. This will be like Subscriber X's favorite video because it'll be under 10 minutes. There's only 5 games tonight, and I mean, well, you know, if you like the Yankees, you know, Toronto, that's a pretty good matchup there. Other than that, you know, if you're looking at kind of some bad baseball or not such great premium teams not playing tonight. Let's put it that way. All right. Mets, Nationals. That was a nice win. And that was, you know, I'm betting every game just as an academic exercise. Let me rephrase that. I'm picking every game. I don't want you to think I'm actually betting my own money on every last one of these games. I'm picking every game just as an academic exercise to see at the end if I'm in the black, which I hope to be. I expect to be. I used to be good at this. Ask Daryl Turner. He's the guy that comments on the videos. He watched some of the old videos. I had a winning record. But we're getting dialed in here after a 3-year hiatus. So we're not quite there yet. I'm losing my train of thought. I don't know what I was saying. Anyway, we're talking about the Mets and the Nationals. There it is. That game yesterday. That would have been a game I would have played. I would have played the Nationals. They won easily. Now here we are again. I note that the money has come in heavily on the Nationals here this evening. And that's where we're at too. So I would have liked it earlier, better. But you know, you win, you win. You don't, you know, it's, you always want to get the best price possible. Generally speaking, I think the rule of thumb is play favorites early as possible. Underdogs late, In other words, the lines come out, generally speaking, I think, 3 o'clock the day before a game. But the bookie is not going to let you have $1 million down on one game. Not that anybody that watches this channel has $1 million to bet. And then overnight, some outlets, some offshore books will have cheaper lines, but they won't let you bet that much. You know, they might limit you to, say, a couple $100, but they cut their vig. I guess they're doing that just trying to get a feel for what's coming in as far as is their lines set correctly. If suddenly they're just getting dumped on one side and one side only, they might say to themselves, perhaps we have this number in the wrong place, so we should move it. Then as you get on through the day of the game, generally the money's going to come in on, as you get closer to game time, that's more public money rather than smart money, and the favorites are generally where the public is. So the line is going to usually drift towards the favorite. So if you want the underdog, then you get that one, you play it close to game time, and that's probably close to your best price. Now this is probably usually, occasionally, that type of deal. There's no absolutes in this. Sometimes the underdog is, the number's just set in the wrong place, and the smart money looks at it and goes, wow, they're not that bad, and everybody, the smart money's on the underdog, and then suddenly it's not plus 200 anymore, it's now plus 175. So it doesn't always go that way. I don't know if that made any sense to you or not. But we do think Washington, show me something, Mets. I mean, these guys are going to have to start winning some games before they earn their status as a playoff team. And right now, I would have to say the Nationals are better than the Mets. The only thing I would say right now for the Mets is last night Soto seemed to be dialed in. He had 2 home runs, but then the Nationals scored 8 runs last night. Take Soto out of that lineup, the Mets, I think, would have been shut out. So, again, here we think it's the Nationals here. Atlanta, Miami. Chris Sale, he was fine last night. The Braves wiped out the Marlins. Marlins are pitching Sandy Alcantara. I've heard his name pronounced so many different ways. Sandy Alcantara, 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 whatever. He was really good a couple of years ago, and then he blew his arm out. Now he was terrible last year. Now he's sort of rounded back into form, but not really. He's not fantastic. Strider for Atlanta. He's had some pretty decent outings so far this year. I mean, I don't think he's the way he used to be, where he would just pitch 6 innings and strike 13 guys out. But for betting purposes, that's not what we want. We want him to get deep into the game and only give up 1 run. I don't think that's a hateful price on Atlanta. Minus 130. I mean, that's a premium team. Playing in a stadium they usually play very well in, with a decent pitcher. I really don't think that's, that feels pretty okay to me. That feels pretty okay to me. We're not laying a huge number. I like that. Toronto and the Yankees. I know that we said we were going to play against the Blue Jays. Well, there's an exception to every rule, and that's happening here tonight. This is going to be kind of a bullpenish kind of game for Toronto. We like bullpen games. We think it's difficult for an offense to get into a real rhythm in bullpen games. Carlos Rodon going for the Yankees. He has been terrible. Until he throws a half-decent outing, we're going to assume he's going to stay terrible. The Yankees just aren't playing that well. Aaron Judge hasn't had a good game in weeks. Nobody's really hitting the ball. They've got injuries. They lost Trent Grisham last night. He's their starting center fielder. Yeah, I mean, there's just they're not that scary right now. If being able to pitch to Judge makes that whole lineup not that scary. I mean, if Judge isn't hitting, what that means is you don't have to pitch to Ben Rice. You can pitch around him and go to Judge. It's like, okay, I can get Judge out, so I don't have to pitch to Rice. So that kind of takes two good hitters out of the equation. We're going to say Toronto, you know, they do enough here to hold down the Yankees, sort of like last night, a 2-1 win, you know, something to that effect. Don't love that game. I don't love that game, but I think that's where the side you want to be on. I feel good about this game. Oakland and the Angels. We finally got an Oakland game right last night as they came through late for us, tying the game in the ninth inning and then going ahead and winning in extras. I got to figure out, I mean, I guess you can live bet stuff. And I wonder if the books, do they do that? Do they compensate in extras for the fact that the road team always wins in the extras? I exaggerate, but more often than not, the road team wins in extras. They have a huge advantage. Like I said, the home team, it plays such crazy, stupid, aggressive defense with walking guys intentionally and bringing in the infield and throwing over the cutoff man's heads in a desperate attempt to cut off the runs. And it's all dumb because they get the guy on second base to start the next inning too. But, you know, they just, I guess the thought is we have no interest in playing a 13 or 14 inning game. And if we can, you know, somehow hold these guys down and without scoring in the 10th, then great. But if we can't, well, then we'll just give in and lose. So Oakland won. And usually once you break a losing streak, you know, then you're going to win 2 in a row right there. And that's what we're thinking, that our losing streak with Oakland, we finally broke it, and now we're prepared to win 2 in a row. I just think that number feels very tasty to me. I know we're an underdog here because Jose Soriano's pitching for the Angels, and he's pitched relatively well this year. He's lost 3 out of his last 4 starts. I just think that's a guy that, you know, he's just not that good. You know, he was pitching really well. You know, show me. Show me that you could do that for the whole season, because I don't believe it. I think the Oakland offense is much superior to the Angels. The Angels had a crazy misplay in the outfield last night that only they make, where 2 outfielders run into each other and the ball goes to the wall. Yeah, definitely. We definitely like the A's there. And then I guess, you know, these will be your late night games, I guess. Colorado, Arizona. Ugh! This is one of these games where the number is probably set close to where it should be, and that's annoying because then it's hard to pick a side. Eddie Rodriguez, the president of Venezuela. It's actually Eddie Rodriguez. It's not Donald Trump. Eddie Rodriguez is the president of Venezuela. He's pitching for Arizona. Colorado, they've got some guy named Agnos, or Zach Agnos. I think he's like some, you know, middle reliever. It's basically going to be a bullpen game. I guess that's where we're at, is that we just don't trust Eddie Rodriguez with a minus 200. That's tough. That's tough. And I really don't like this game at all. Really don't. I don't want, oh God. You know, this is going to be like one of these games where wrecks your whole night if you lose at minus. You know what we're going to do here? This is, I hate Colorado and I hate them on the road. Historically, Colorado is just basically one of the worst road teams in the history of baseball. As Casey Stengel used to say, you can look it up. We're going to do the run line. How about that? I don't even know what, well, my little thing's up there. It's probably down around like 110, let's say. Run line. We're going to play Arizona on the run line. What's the thinking there? Well, what does that mean, you're saying? What does that mean, run line? Well, the run line is a 1.5 runs. If I am taking the favorite on the run line, that means I have to give the other team a 1.5. And then they set the number. So Colorado, before the very first pitch starts, it's Colorado 1.5, Arizona nothing. And now I've got to outscore these guys by 2 runs to win. Because I'm at home, that makes it even more difficult, because if the game goes into extra innings, the only way I can outscore you by more than 1 run is to hit a home run with guys on base. If I hit a game-winning single, well, all those runners on base don't count because, of course, the game's over. So that makes it even, or if I'm simply beating you, I only get 8 at-bats. I don't get that 9th at-bat. So at home, it's always harder to win on the run line. So you get a bigger, if this was a road game, the run line would probably be something like minus 140 or something. But at home, it's even more difficult, so it's probably down around only like 110. I'd have to look that up to see where it's at. I'm just throwing that up there. When we run the numbers tomorrow, we'll have the actual number as to what it was. But the thinking here is that neither team, I think there's going to be a lot of runs scored. So, again, well, shouldn't you just play the over then? I don't play overs and unders. I don't know how to do it. Maybe that would be the smart play, but I think that's where everyone else is going to be. I think the number will be something crazy high stupid like, 12, where that's too much. So I think the run line, it's easier to beat a team by 2 if there's a lot of runs scored. And that's kind of what I think might be the case here. Arizona's just a better team than Colorado. They've won, 5 in a row. That's where we want to be there. I do not want to be on Colorado. That just feels like one of those depressing one of those games that you're never in, and it's 7-2, and you're like, I never had a chance in this game. Whereas here with the run line, if we do get beat, it's not that hateful of a loss. Somehow Arizona just doesn't fire tonight, and Colorado gets all over Eddie Rodriguez, and it's a 6-3, and we lose. I'd wreck your whole night, minus 200. I'd wreck your whole night at two units in one game. So this is much better, I believe. That's it. That's all we got. I don't have a lot else to say. We'll talk again. Full card tomorrow. There'll be a full card tomorrow. I've got nothing doing right now, so we'll definitely have a show. So be back in the barn tomorrow, and we'll try to get the video up by, say, 2, 3 o'clock so you got some time to think about what you're doing. And that's how that'll roll. Talk again. I hurt my back.